everybody. We're here for a new vlog. So I haven't filmed in a long time, and I actually haven't read in a long time either. I've been in the middle of the biggest reading slump. It is almost the end of August, and I haven't read anything since the end of June. So 2 freaking months of like not reading anything because I just haven't had the desire to. And we're going to attempt to fix that today. Today is actually landfall for Hurricane Henri, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope I am. And I've done everything that I needed to I was going to say to prevent, but to prepare for the hurricane. I went food shopping Friday. We usually go food shopping Saturday morning, but because today is Sunday, you know the stores were going to be a madhouse the day before. So we went food shopping Friday. I'm currently charging all of my batteries. I took the time to fill up all of the water bottles that we have, all of them. I kind of forgot to get water when I went food shopping, but honestly, I feel like filling up all the water bottles that we have will be fine. I'm really not expecting to lose power or water, but honestly, this is the first storm that we're currently going through in this apartment. We moved in last December, and we haven't had a giant storm since, so we don't really know what to expect in this apartment. I know some areas do better than others. And we have those little sternos, and I have, the lighters and enough candles, really. So many candles. So in the end, I think I'm very well prepared for today's hurricane, and honestly, I really don't think it's going to be that bad. I'm pretty far from the coast, and we've so far just been getting like bands of like showers, not really like a whole lot of rain yet. But we're prepared for the worst, should the worst happen. And I think what I'm going to do today, I have a bunch of chores to do today, but I'm going to go through all of the books I currently have out. I had like 3 giant bags of books checked out of my library. I just brought back 2 of them, and right now I have 1 full bag of books that I need to get through, read, and return to the library. In fact, one of the items in that bag that I do want to read, I've had it out for so long that it's been billed to me. So that's definitely on our to-read list for today. Without further ado, let's get to reading. All right, here is what I currently have checked out of the library. I've actually been in the middle of this for ages, so we're definitely going to try to read this today. And this is the thing I was just talking about that I've had for ages and has now been billed to me. So we're going to also read this today. Okay, so I've been reading a while. I am now halfway through this, and it's not grabbing me as her other stuff usually does. And I really like Lucy Knisley's stuff. I really enjoy her writing, and I like her art style. And this is actually a travelogue, or like one of those like travel comics that she usually does of a trip. And this is a 6-week trip that she took with her mom and I think a couple other family members in like 2006, 2007. For the most part, she really wasn't having a good time because she missed her boyfriend, and she recognizes that she was probably overly grumpy about it. But back in my mind, it's like, you're on this great freaking trip. Why are you thinking about your boyfriend? But to be honest, if I was in my early 20s, because this was so long ago, I probably would have been the same. But as a 32, I had to think about that for a second. But as a 32-year-old woman, I just really can't relate. Not to say that I don't love my husband. I love my husband very much. But if I was on a 6-week trip to Paris, I'd be thinking about the trip a little bit more than my husband. I would miss him a little bit, but I don't think I'd miss him as much as she's letting on. See, now that I'm talking about it, this is the city of love, and that's probably what's like spurring these thoughts, but at this point, she seems to be like finding her groove now. But we're gonna put a bookmark in this, and I'm gonna go check laundry now. So we are taking a break from reading. It's 5 o'clock and I'm getting a little hungry. So we're gonna make some ramen. It is not the same of all the delicious French food I was just reading about, but this is what I got, and this is kind of what I'm craving. I figured while I was making dinner I would check on the rain, and there's none to be had. It's just overcast. Oh, you can't really see because it wants to focus on the screen and not outside. Ooh, sorry. But yeah, there's Not a single drop to be had. Good. Okay, so I just finished French Milk by Lucy Knisley, and overall, I think this is actually one of her first graphic novels, and you can actually, I feel like you can tell like where she's been to like how she is now as an artist, but you can still see the similarities of her style and how it's been throughout the years. After she stopped moping about her boyfriend, she really embraced her trip to Paris, and it really smacked of relish. She talks about her love of food and seeing all the fun arts and really interesting arts and visiting Oscar Wilde's grave, and that is what I was fully expecting for the majority of it. I can understand that she was kind of homesick and then it took her a while to really acclimate to her trip, and you can't help but empathize with her. It was a very long trip, 5-6 weeks, that's a long trip. But I'm glad in the end that she really embraced the opportunity that she had while visiting Paris. The way she talks about Paris actually makes me want to go to Paris myself one day. Like, I was really able to like visualize and romanticize a trip there, and maybe one day I can get there. I actually want to go back to Edinburgh. That is actually high on my list. I went to Edinburgh on a school trip back in 2011, 2012, and I really want to go back. And I think I want to do that first, go back to Edinburgh, and then maybe one day check out Paris. So that's it. This is done, and now we can return it and get this bill off of my library card. I'm having some dessert while I read some of Lost in the Neverwoods. I started this ages ago, like months ago, and I would like to get at least 50 pages done tonight, maybe 100. We're gonna see how I feel after 50. But I would like to get a good chunk of this done and maybe start on another graphic novel I have in that bag. I do have a bunch of other stuff to do for tonight, so we're gonna see how much reading I'm going to get done. I feel like I did the one thing I truly wanted to do today, is start and finish French Milk, since I've had it for so long. So yeah, we're just gonna like go with the flow now, because like I've said, I haven't read in months, and I'd rather not overdo it and then put myself in another reading slump. Okay, so I've read 50 pages of Lost in the Neverwoods, and it's actually finally starting to get interesting. So before I had read up to about maybe 100 pages, and it was just really slow getting into it. But these last 50 pages, all right, things are starting to happen. Like this is a Peter Pan retelling, and Wendy had gone missing with her brothers like many years ago, but she had come back, but her brothers didn't. She's driving along in her truck on her birthday, and Peter Pan like falls from the sky and like hits her truck, and she's like, oh my God. So she's being confronted with the trauma of going missing herself and not remembering any of it, and how her brothers are still missing. And then she comes to find out why her brothers are still missing. And at this point, it's because of Peter's shadow. Peter has lost his shadow, and his shadow is starting to do some really shady stuff. So it's getting more exciting now. I am still going to stop. As much as I would love to continue reading, I do have other things to do. I want to clean my bathroom because it is like one of my weekend chores. I also want to do a quick workout on my elliptical. I want to do a face mask. I want to get ready for work for tomorrow, like pick out my clothes, make lunch, and I still need to shower after all that is said and done. So I got a lot to do. I also want to check back on my Animal Crossing island. It's a Sunday, which means there's fireworks, and I kind of want to participate in that as well. So yeah, I got a lot to do that's not reading. So we're gonna stop, and hopefully I'll pick this back up tomorrow, and this isn't what is it, an exercise, an experiment gone wrong. I had originally planned on making this just like a day vlog, like trying to like get myself out of this reading slump, but I don't like ending a vlog without finishing a book. So I'm gonna check in another time. Good morning. I'm up earlier than I wanted to be, because for the past like 15-20 minutes, the people who do my lawn was outside, well, not my lawn, they do for the apartment complex I'm in. The people who do the apartment complex's lawn was outside, and I understand why they do it so early, because it's in the middle of summer, and I can only imagine how hot it is if they try to do it later. So I understand, but it was so early. I mean, it really wasn't that early. It's like 7:30. But I could have slept in today because my hours changed today. So a bit of tea. But for today, it's 11 to 4 because the last 2 hours of my shift I have to sit in on a meeting. There's been some like bad blood in between the circulation department and the reference department, and now we have to go through a team building Zoom meeting for 2 freaking hours. But I'm gonna get up now since I'm up early, make myself some breakfast, and maybe try to get some reading done. I didn't do everything I wanted to do last night. I didn't go on my island. I didn't do my little elliptical run, so I'm gonna try to do those. And we're just gonna get my day started. Hello, it is now the end of my day. I didn't do any of the things I really wanted to do other than check turnip prices this morning. I decided that, all right, so I can exercise and rush to get ready, or I can just exercise tonight and do my makeup. And I kind of like how it came out today. It's a little different. I don't usually go for this like kind of vibe, but it was fun. I wanted to like pull myself a little bit more together for today's meeting, and the meeting actually went better than I thought it was. I actually fully expected it to be 2 hours of like hand holding, but it wasn't really. But I'm home now. I've been relaxing for the last couple of hours. I got home around 4:15, 4:30 because I had to go to the post office. I'm to the point now where I'm actually going to read 50 pages. That is my goal for tonight. Read 50 pages. And then I do need to run on the elliptical. And then I'm going to shower and get to bed. Maybe not like go to sleep, but I would like to get to bed earlier rather than later because I actually have to film a self-tape tomorrow. I have an audition. And I don't want to give too much away because I don't like doing that, and I don't want to ruin my chances if I give out too much information. But basically, it's for a commercial. It's pretty decently paying. I was going to say well paying, but it's pretty decently paying for what it is, and I hope I get it. But I'll check in with you guys after I read my 50 pages. Alrighty, so I've read a little bit past 50 pages. But that's because I really wanted to finish the chapter. I didn't just want to leave it in the middle. But I definitely did as much as I had hoped to. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but the basic story is Peter's shadow gets away. And shadows are like these evil creatures. And to get stronger, this shadow is actually kidnapping kids. And the stronger the shadow gets, the more, what's the word I'm looking for? The more weaker, like, Peter Pan gets weaker as his shadow gets stronger, which means he's aging. He started off at like 14, 15 years old, and now he's looking like he's 18 and looking a little pale, a little haggard. And these 50 pages, Wendy gets questioned by the police because they wanted more information, at least trying to get more information out of her. Like, hey, have you recalled seeing this kid go missing or anyone strange talking to this kid? Because another kid goes missing during these 50 pages. And she's giving them super vague information because she's like, they're not going to believe me. And she's right. They're not going to believe her. But I feel like not a whole lot happened. She gets questioned by the police and they randomly go out for ice cream. Like, they have this super serious conversation where Peter is basically saying, this won't end well if the shadow eventually gets stronger and stronger and I gets weaker and weaker. This won't end well. Like, and of course, Wendy's understandably, well, this is scary, so what do we need to do now? And as they're talking about this, they're going past an ice cream place, and he's like, well, we're getting ice cream. Why? And I think it's meant to showcase, like, Peter Pan is, like, you know, flighty, he's quirky, very much a child at heart. But my anxiety, I could never. And I think it's meant to, like, put down some groundwork of, like, something romantic might be happening between Wendy and Peter. And I don't like it. I absolutely do not like it. I'm still not super into this story. And I think because overall, I feel like there's not a lot of, like, depth to all the other characters that's around Wendy and Peter. Like, the story is from Wendy's perspective. So I guess it makes sense where we get all this character development and information about Wendy, but I feel like all the other, like, supporting characters, like, are falling flat. Like, her best friend, Jordan, honestly, I could care less about. I'm not super wowed by this so far. Hello. So it's been a couple days since I last checked in. I have read a little bit more of totally spacing the title, Lost in the Neverwoods. I have read a little bit more in that, but I've been productive. I just cleaned my kitchen and I cleaned my fridge. It needed to be done. And I was like, you know what? I have some food in here that I don't know what's good and what's bad, so let's go through it. And I feel torn. I feel proud of myself that I was so productive, but I can't believe I let so much food go to waste. I'm just gonna get started on dinner, and I want to attempt to read some more. Oh, and I also want to go to my island. I've been terrible about buying turnips, so I haven't really been checking stock prices, but I got a Stitches Amiibo card, and I've been in the process of inviting that sucker to my island. So I think today's gonna be the third day, and I think today's the day that I can actually, you know, get him, her, they, to, you know, join my island. So we're gonna do that later too. Oh my god. I finally finished this. It took a lot longer than I anticipated, as you can tell by, you know, the color change of my nails. But I finished it. I didn't realize I've been trying to read this for so long. When I finally updated my Goodreads page, I started this May 27th. And it's funny, like, I didn't DNF it because, like, I wasn't having a terrible time. And I just assumed it was because I wasn't in the right headspace to want to read. But I think it was really this. Remember when I said that I didn't like that there was this possible romance between, why did I forget her name? Wendy and Peter. And that's because, like, yes, Peter was aging, but I was actually very concerned that he wasn't emotionally aging as well. And it's very clear that he is. And he also, like, develops feelings for her on his end. I still don't like it. It makes sense to the story, like, what eventually, like, transpires towards the end. It makes sense. I still don't like it, but it makes sense. My biggest qualm with this book is, like, how slow it went. Like, incredibly slow. There's 100 pages left, right? And basically the overall story is, like, kids are going missing and Wendy and Peter are trying to find his shadow so they can save the kids. As the days progress, Peter is losing his magical abilities, like, more and more as each day is gone. And one day she couldn't meet up with Peter because her mom got her to like clean the house for the day. I'm like, why is that scene added? Why did you add that scene? And then that's how slow it moves. 100 pages, we still don't have an idea how to get to the shadow. 70 pages left, we still don't know how to get to the shadow. 50 pages left, we still don't know how to like get to the shadow. 30 pages. 30 pages is when everything, like, hell breaks loose and they like figure something out, and it was truly by the seat of their pants. 30 pages. Moving like molasses until it all just fell. The only thing that made it worth it was at the end, all my questions were answered. It worked out to an ending that I was satisfied with, despite me not liking how we got there. So, in the end, I rated this 2 out of 5 stars. This was meh, but there was more stuff that I didn't like than I liked. I'm really excited now that I finished, because I finally have an ending to a vlog. I can't tell you how often I would start a vlog and not finish it. Like, I went on vacation to Florida in June, right? Before, you know, we realized that Delta was a thing. And I started a vlog, but I never did an ending to that vlog. I don't know if I will. I'm definitely not finishing up last year's Hocus Pocus readathon vlog. I never filmed an ending to that either. I still have all the clips for that as well. I think I'm just going to delete last year's part 1, and I haven't decided which readathon I want to participate in October this year. The last few months have been rough for me, and I don't quite understand why they've been like that. I mean, I have had a lot going on, but I perhaps didn't realize how much of an impact it was making. But I'm back. I'm going to attempt to post more regularly instead of just disappearing for months at a time. If you've missed me in my content, I'm actually on TikTok more often than not now. Same username, Boston Book Biddy, but I actually make content about being a library worker. So if you want to check me out there, feel free to. I've also listed my exact username down below as well. Well, now that meandering outro has been said, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I guess it's ta-ta for now. Bye, guys.